All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to our MAV TV Plus post-race show. This is round number 2, Hangtown, and what an epic race. Well, first of all, everybody give these guys a big round of applause. First of all, give these guys an amazing round of applause. I've been coming here for years. I know you guys have as well. And Eli, you and I just talked a moment ago. Eli Tomac, third place today, winner of our second moto. We just talked a second ago. Probably the best conditions I've seen in 10 years here. Traction was at a maximum and quite different than last week's, we call it DG, decomposed granite, down in Southern California. And it seems like that really suits all three of your styles, but we know when the number 3 machine gets into beast mode, heavy on the throttle, heavy into the ruts, and really played into your style of riding today without question.
Yeah, I mean, second moto was just way improved. You know, I was missing a couple lines versus Moto 1. There was that one double in the middle of the track over there by that big monster cannon. That was the one I was missing, losing a lot of time, and then just was riding a little bit tight, and that was it. So fixed some balance on the motorcycle for Moto 2. Kind of started in the same spot, but was able to move forward that time. And speaking of the track, yeah, it was still rough. It was still the typical square edge, tough to ride Hangtown. There was decent lines. I had a lot of fun in that new rhythm section. I thought it was pretty neat. And yeah, it did have decent moisture though, you know, and obviously overcast probably saved us there.
It seemed like throughout the day you were kind of testing yourself and the course as far as what the limits of the traction were. You were able to close at times. You made smart decisions today. You let the race come to you. And then we use the term beast mode in that second moto. It looks like that's exactly what you did. You went into beast mode. You were the only guy that we saw really hucking that double you're talking about on that end, and you put that to good use a couple times, and were really able to claim some real estate by using that line. Tell us about that. When did you find that?
I mean, that was good. You know, I think we're talking about the same spot, but that far into the track there, that's where I was making up time, and then to the step up, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
So that was just a good technical section, and there was time to be made there, and then it was important to stick the inside once you got to the top of the step up. So. Yeah, and then, you know, me and Chase went at it for a while, and he latched right onto my wheel. So went down to the very end. I even got a little sketchy on that big hip jump the last lap, and he was right there. So, like I said earlier, barn burner to the end.
Any close calls that maybe we didn't see or in your mind might have been a close call? Any near misses?
Once on that double in the middle of the track on the early hills over there, kind of drifted to the right, but other than that, it was pretty clean.
Stellar performance today. Congratulations. Thanks. Chase Sexton, second place. Let me tell you, the word for you right now after the last 2 weeks, confidence. That's what you're exuding right now. We're seeing lots of confidence. And I have to tell you, as everybody mentions, the consistency level rising as well. Do you feel that internally? Is that something, of course, you've been working on, focusing on?
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes from it being my start of my third season. I started in the 450 class 2020, so this would be the start, like I said, the third season of me racing these guys. So I think the consistency is going to come, and hopefully we're starting to get into that now, because it was Supercross, inconsistent, started to find some towards the end, but man, I feel really comfortable. I feel good on the bike. Obviously it's not perfect, but I feel like I can push towards the end of the moto, where last year I think I lacked that. So both motos it was good. I got caught and passed both motos, but my fight was really good. So my starts have been really good. That also helps, and just been having fun. I think when you're up front and, like I said, you're feeling good on the bike, it's a whole different race. And for me, I can play with the track and enjoy it, and not be so death gripping the bike. So, but for me, yeah, just enjoying it, like I said, and it's going to be a fun summer with these guys.
I've called your races since you were at Loretta Lynn. You know, I've watched your entire career, and your composure right now, your ability to focus. We talk about consistency or this or that. The speed has always been there. What do you attribute that mental state to right now? We said you're 3 years in, but what really flipped the switch for you? Because the difference at the middle of Supercross season into now is quite substantial.
Yeah, I think I just started to pay more attention where I can push and where I can't. There's parts of the track where I wasn't super comfortable, so I backed it down, and then there's other parts where I felt like I was good, so I was able to be a little bit more aggressive, and to be able to learn that part and I'm still learning to this day. So I think just learning the bike, learning the tracks, learning the guys I'm racing is a big part of it. And starts, like I said, just, if you can get up in the top 5 every start, you're going to be in a good spot. And I think with my riding right now, I can make those quick passes and hopefully get to the lead. So today was it was consistent. I was close to winning both motos, but not quite. These guys both got me. So looking forward to Thunder Valley, but overall, it's been having fun.
Well, I got to tell you, we're looking at 2 of the most known gnarly guys in the business right now, and you battled with each of them. You match speed with each of them at any given time. Come up a little short in Moto 1. Jason was able to just really put the hammer down. He had the blinders on today and wasn't going to be denied. So the fact that you're able to match the speed, have the Moto wins, that type of thing, has to be part of the program right now. Have to be pleased with that, leaving out of here with the red plate.
Yes, sir. It's like I said, it was a good day. To be able to race these guys is awesome, and just to have a fight down to the end. That's something that I think I've gotten better at. Last year when I got past, I kind of got just dropped. So now I'm able to latch on and kind of figure out some different lines and just show some heart. So that's been the big difference.
Well, it absolutely shows, and heart is another one of those words we're going to add to the Chase Sexton resume from here on out. Congratulations on a great ride today as well.
Thank you.
And Jason, here it is. Hi, you come off the track, and we saw you look over at the track worker, and he gave you the nod. You told me a moment ago, I heard you say a moment ago, you thought you were on the podium, didn't realize that you'd won the overall.
Yeah, I with that last lap, I was like, I got up to third, and I was like 1-3. I was like, honestly, for some reason, I didn't even think that I got on the podium, or not on the podium, but got the win. And then I crossed across the mechanics area. Mechanic said, "You did it," and I was like, "Did it?" Like he wouldn't put that if I didn't like win or anything. So I asked the flagger when I pulled off, and I was like, I was stoked. It's for me. It's taken me 12 years to be able to get a win like this, and it's been a lot of work, and it feels good. It feels really good.
We talked about the track with Eli a moment ago. You're another one of these riders, as well as Chase, because he's very technical, but you hammer things. There's no doubt about that. You'll take a bad line to make a pass. You'll take a bad line if it's open. Was that necessary today? It looked like several times that the only line available was the line you used, going through some lappers and that type of thing, and it really played into your hand today, I believe.
Yeah, I think just in general, when you're out front, you're able to be a little bit smarter with your lines and stuff like that. So the first moto, I kind of tried to, Chase was pulling away from me for a little bit there, and I tried to figure out some of his lines and tried to kind of hammer him, and it was good. That second moto, I kind of started a little bit further back, and man, going through those guys, and the guys I was passing, they're good. I'm passing Caroli, Dungy, Kenny. I mean, the list is pretty gnarly, and it's some work. So once I got up to third, I was like, man, trying to catch these two is a little bit tough for me. But yeah, I felt today I was able to hammer pretty good the whole moto, and it was improvement from last weekend.
As much as you respect your fellow competitors, you like to race tight, you like to race close, you have disregard for the speed. You're not worried about that whatsoever. If you need to grab that next gear, you will. And was the pace a little quicker today than you thought?
Yeah, the what's crazy right now is the pace is pretty high, and especially with when you're in that top 3, I mean, we're battling all the way to the end. It's taking everything out of you, and you're using your brain the whole time, and that mental capacity is tough to have for 70 minutes of racing, and trying to latch onto the lines, figure stuff out, and you're just out there problem solving. It's it's tough, but I think we are getting better at figuring it out, and I think our bike's good and everything like that. So yeah, it's fun.
In regards to the bike, I saw that thing hang out several times. I saw 2 big lock-to-lock swaps, and man, you just held it on, pulled that thing back underneath of you, and it looks like your comfort level from the second half of Supercross season now through the opening of outdoors has really grown with the bike. You were on point with the bike from the beginning of Supercross, but it looks like you've really got it down and starting to gel right now.
Yeah, it's just little things. For us, it's at 1% here and there, Like as far as changes goes, it's not like we're making any like crazy changes, but we're making changes. And they're minimal, but they add comfort. And for us, it's all about knowing exactly what your bike's going to do and being comfortable in that thing, and honestly being comfortable having it knowing how it's going to react, to the bumps, how it's going to kick and stuff like that. So for me, I feel very comfortable on my bike and just going to try and keep moving forward and progressing with that and myself.
Last week, start's not the greatest. This week, a different story. But when you talk about the level of these riders, we're talking about Eli Tomac, we're talking about Chase Sexton, Ryan Dungey, Antonio Caroli, Barsha, all these riders. One of the toughest fields that we've seen in many, many years. And when you got in that position, not easy to make those passes. The motivation was that first overall. I mean, just to prove the point that if you're up front, by golly, we're going to be able to make those passes when necessary.
Yeah, for me, I feel like my whole goal is just to try and be relentless and put my effort out there the whole time. And wherever that puts me, it puts me. That first moto, I was put the effort out there, was able to get up to the lead. In that second moto, everything I had was third place. But, I think with a start and everything like that, I think I could just keep fighting. And I'm going to try and do that all year and see where we end up.
I asked Eli the same thing. We saw a big swap. We did from the booth. But was there anything that stood out in your mind that was, man, a close call or a big mistake or I almost blew it? Any self-inflicted damage today?
Honestly, where that jump was, it used to be called like the Fly 150.
Yeah.
And the first moto, I hit it way too fast, thinking it was the actual jump, and I just jumped off the track. And that's where I lost a lot of time to Chase in the first moto. But it was honestly just me kind of forgetting that it was smaller this year than it usually is. So, yeah.
Now, when you passed Chase in that first moto, you opened up a pretty good gap. But, man, when that 2-lap card come out, man, he hit the reset button. Yeah. 0.3 of a second was the gap at the finish line of that first moto. Were you maybe waiting for him to settle in, or were you expecting him to come back at you with 2 laps?
Yeah, I even think when I was behind him, he got caught up with lappers a little bit, and then for me coming into those last couple of laps, it's really tough because we get kind of into that top 15 area of lapping people and they're battling, so it's hard for them to want to give up too much, because there are some of those guys are in a battle, and you just get caught up in that stuff a little bit and you try and be smart about it, but sometimes it kind of holds you up and that really can change the race, but. That's how our racing works, and that's just another variable that we got to deal with. But I think just being smart, and then as far as that first moto goes, towards the end, I was still pushing, trying to keep that gap. It's just the way it works.
Well, man, I just got to tell you, it was gritty, it was gutsy, and it was awesome. And that's the way I'm sure you want to win your first overall outdoor moto or overall victory. I'm sure.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations. Right now, we're going to open the floor to any questions from these guys. Who's up?
Aaron Hance with Racer X. This is for Chase. Two-parter here for you. When you you were able to just the result of learning new lines, did you to get him back, and did you know that you needed to get him back for the overall?
Yeah. So when both of them got me each moto, I really just tried to learn off them, see what they're doing better. First moto, I was losing a lot of time to Jason. There's that little double to the inside before you go up the hill, the first main hill, or maybe the second one before you drop down that big long one. I wasn't doing that. I still didn't do it the first moto, so I told myself second moto I need to go out there and do it. But besides for that, I kind of they gapped me a little bit right away, and then I just told myself that I got to give it a fight and a charge. And both motos, obviously, it didn't get the win, but I feel like I showed some grit, and that's where I want to be. I don't want to lay over. I don't want them to just kind of walk away with it easy. So, because I know they wouldn't do that to me, and so for that was just to try and put up a fight. And then, what was the second question? What was the? Yeah, I saw Jason was in third. Going down the last downhill, I saw him coming up the roller, so I was aware that I needed to get Eli. I wasn't quite aware if I was going to get second or third. For one point, I thought I was going to get 2-2 for third place. So I was like, well, that's not good. But I knew I had to get Eli back, and it wasn't going to be easy. So put another charge in. We got really close, actually, before where the fly 150 was. A lapper actually pushed Eli wide, and I was on the outside committed. Last second, I jumped across the track. Otherwise, I probably would have landed on him, which would have been good. So, it was just putting 2 good charges. Didn't get it done, but I was happy with how I rode today. I felt like I was consistent and smart, and just overall good racing.
Next. Guys, have any other questions? All right.
Yeah, this one's for Eli. Last week wasn't quite what we're used to from you. It wasn't horrible, but with that in mind, was it important for you to come back, put in a strong showing here at Hangtown, or is it too early in the season to start thinking about that kind of thing?
Yeah, it is. Especially I lost 18 points and even lost more points today, obviously. So I looked at that. I'm like, whoa, I need to get my act together, and I, there was no choice really. Last week in that first moto, I just went backwards, and then that sucks as a rider when you go backwards. And I started in second. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be okay. And then, ended up 7th place or whatever it was. And then Moto 2, I was still off of the top guys. So this was good for us. Yeah, it was a big rebound for us.
All right, gang. Anybody else?
Jim Kimball with Motocross Action. A question, Jason. It's really hard to believe that this is your first 450 outdoor win. I'm sure you feel that way as well with all the success you've had. How are you going to celebrate?
I mean, right now it's a little too early in the season to celebrate the way I want to, but if I'm being honest, I'm probably just going to go grab some dinner tonight and stuff like that. It's been a long time, but I'm really excited that I don't have to hear about not having an outdoor win anymore, so that's pretty nice. I'm just I'm stoked. I'm really happy where we're at as my riding and everything like that, and it just gives me more motivation. I think right now where we're at, it's I'm gonna just celebrate and just be excited and like proud of myself. But other than that, I'm just gonna try and get ready and keep this ball rolling.
This question is for Chase. Chase, how bad were the lappers today? And I'm asking you because I was over in this corner over here. I think you hit one, and he crashed. How big of a factor was lappers today?
Yeah, lappers definitely played a part. I wouldn't say it was just for me though. Like Jason said, I think Eli, the last lap had lappers. So it's just part of racing. They're obviously out there racing for positions like we are, and it gets close sometimes. That second moto, the guy actually was like getting out of the way, but I don't think he realized that I was taking that outside line, and I went in there and he kind of kept going, and I just pretty much cleaned his front wheel out, which I didn't feel great about. I kind of felt like I didn't know he went down, but I had a feeling that he went down. So that's not how I want to pass lappers, but it's just part of racing. Like I said, they're out there racing for positions, and so are we. So it gets close at times. I was pretty cautious today with them, which I don't know if it obviously hurt me, but it's kind of a catch-22 because you could be aggressive with them and make a mistake and go down or lose a lot more time. So it's just kind of, I don't know. It could work out either way. It could go like today where I was cautious and it kind of cost me, or you could get by them with ease. So, but yeah, like I said, everyone dealt with them, and it wasn't just me with lap traffic.
Awesome. Anybody else? Any other questions before we move out to the corral? All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us for our round 2 MAV TV Plus post-race show. Look forward to seeing everybody next week in Colorado. And congratulations to Eli, Chase, and Jason. Congratulations on your first win. Thank you guys so much. And we're going to make our way out to the corral and look forward to seeing everybody next week in Colorado. Thank you.